Okay, so now we've got the profile of the part roughed and finished. We need to do the slots. So in order to do the slots, there's nothing really there to pick for geometry. So we need to create some wireframe geometry so that the tool will have something to follow. The first thing to do would make sense to do would be to create a plane that's level with the top surface here. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we're going to add a plane. You click on the little plus button up here, and you can see there's lots of choices. So if we pick from geometry or from a solid face, I'm going to pick from geometry. Select a construction plane by geometry. Select an entity. So it's really not going to allow me to do that, so I have to try that again. I'm going to go from solid face. Let's try that. There we go. Select that face. I want Z up, X in that direction. I'm okay with that. I'm going to move it afterwards. So now we can see we've got our Z in the right direction. X plus is over there, but what I want is my origin over here. What are we going to name this? We'll name this plane for slots up 1. Now we just need to reposition our origin. So if I reselect the origin, .625 divided by 2. The Y is in the center of this circle, and the Z is halfway across the part. So we should be good with that. Now we have our coordinate system there. When we go to top, you see we are looking down on our slots. So we go back to the top here. Now we need to create some geometry that we can pick. So if we go to transform, project, we're going to project these surfaces up. Because it's a solid, we need to create wireframe geometry. So we're going to copy that one, that one, that one, and make sure you can take all 4 of those entities, and we are going to project them. So end selection, and be okay, and you'll see that we now have, I'm going to turn off the toolpath here so we don't have to look at all that. So you see now we have some geometry based on that slot. Unfortunately, I can't do the same picking on this end, sorry, because the way the slot was generated in this part, you'll see that it's done in quadrants down in here, but this one is completely round. And when I choose that, because I've done this already before, when I choose it, it doesn't allow me to chain it correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this wireframe now over to the other end. So if you're able to select all 4 pieces, you should be able to create your own geometry that way. In my case, I can't, so I'm going to transform, translate. When am I going to translate that, that, and that one? And selection, I am going to copy. I am going to go from and to, so I will go from there to there. I'm not sure why we ended up with that. I'm just going to move that. I got to get to the top view. I think I distorted it somehow. Go back to the top view. and then we'll go to transform, translate that, and selection from and to, from there to there. Guess we won't worry about a couple of tenths there. So there we have it. Now we've got geometry on both ends. And you'll see that they're floating there. Okay, so now we just need to create another operation. So let's create another tool group. So right click, group, new toolpath group. And now we would just use contour and select that one. As long as it chains all the way around one direction, no problem, that's good. The tool, we need a 3/8 ball nose. I've already previously selected that one. Or cut parameters, I'm not leaving anything, so that's okay. Depth of cuts we will do for sure. I'm not worried about finishing on the bottom. Actually, on this lot we could do a finish cut on the bottom. Probably a good idea, actually. Give us a nice finish on the bottom. And lead in, lead out, we can leave. Break through, we're not breaking through on this case. We're going to want multi passes. One rough cut is really all the room we have anyway. And one finish pass, 5 thou. And linking parameters, absolute all the way down. Our top of stock is 0. And the depth, I'm going to pick it from the part. Pick the bottom of the slot. 126. Turn the coolant on if I can get it to work. There we go. Flood on. Oh, you know what? I don't. Yeah, keep it. I have something wrong on my parameters because my last toolpath was a chamfer. I have to go back up here to 2D. So now I can regenerate it, and we got it. So that looks okay. So we can either do that again, or we can copy and paste and then edit it. Probably just as easy to create a new one. Contour. There. Now if we leave it right where it is, the tool is going to plunge into the body of the part, but we can adjust that here without changing our geometry. So 3/8 ball nose, that's still good. Cut parameters, 2D machining, depth of cuts, we'll leave that the same. No finish cuts on this one because there's no bottom. Lead in, lead out, we can leave. But here we're going to adjust the start and finish. So we will shorten it by 1/2 inch. Apply it to both sides. Breakthrough. Let's go break through. The tip of the tool is 187 thou. So if we go minus 200 thou to break through, multi passes, that'll be the same. Linking parameters, we need to pick the depth, so the top of stock is 0 again. And the depth we can pick from the very back of this slot right there. And go to view and fit, and let's look at it in backplot and play. Speed her up a bit. Oh, we only selected the one operation. I want to see that it went all the way through, so let's select both operations. Oops. And then backplot again and play. Roughing and finishing as it's going. And good. So now you would need to create a plane on the other side of the part and do the same thing again. Now that you know how to do it, you should be able to finish it off. So I've gone ahead and finished the other side. Most of it is without any sound, but you should be able to follow my mouse clicks. When you're creating a new plane, this is a good time to rename it. You'll notice that I don't do mine until a little bit later. I have to come back and name it. It's something I forgot to do while I was working here. So there's two methods for doing the slots on side 2. One is to copy the geometry and move it over, copy the toolpaths and move it over, or create new, both ways around. In this case, I chose to copy and paste the existing toolpaths, selecting them both, using Control-C to copy to the clipboard and Control-V to paste it. But that requires me then to do some editing to get them to work properly. So here I go renaming the toolpath groups because I forgot to do it before. So there's slots op 1 and then slots op 2 for the second group. So you can see that the plane is still selected from the original side, so we need to go through, and here you'll see I have still as plane 1 because I forgot to rename it. So I go back to the planes and rename the plane, call it for plane for slots for op 2, or whatever you choose, whatever is convenient name for you. So you just select your plane from the drop-down list and then transfer it over to each. Do the same thing for both operations. Select both operations, then regenerate, and you'll see that the tool is actually cutting into the wrong position because we haven't transferred the geometry yet. So that's the next thing to do, would be to transfer the geometry. So we either need to copy it or create new geometry. So we can go to Translate and select the geometry we want to move. Trying to draw a window around. You have to draw a window completely around your selection. Drag a window around your selection, end the selection, and we can use copy, and we want to go from and to. Or reselect point from and point to, so we'll select that point from and that point to, and you can see that both wireframes have been moved, but they're pointing in the wrong direction. So now we just need to mirror image them. That's a fairly simple task to do. Select mirror, draw a box around what we want to mirror, and selection, and it's done. Mirror around what we want to mirror, and selection. That doesn't look right. Obviously those translations are not in the right place, so we'll just do undo. Control Z for undo. We'll go mirror, select that, and selection. Select our point to mirror about, mirror, draw a box around what we want to mirror, and selection, the mirror point. We're happy with that. Select OK. So now we need to rechain those. We need to make sure we get the right chain in the right on the right side. I realize as I look at the chain that I've selected here that this is for the deeper slot, not the shallow slot. So I need to change this. So this one needs to be the equivalent to the short chain, and the other one needs to be the equivalent to the long chain. So it's opposite to what we had on the other side. So all we have to do is delete the chain, add a new one, and make sure we get it in the right order.